day, dear listeners. I welcome you all to another episode on Love With. I'm Elizabeth Ife-Adetona. Today, quickly, we'll be looking into confusions on God's will. Nowadays, or let me say recently, people now get confused about the issue of God's will. In fact, there are many preachers out there are many articles, there are many write-ups out there that says that God is no longer interested in choosing a life partner for someone, that says God is no longer interested in whatever you do with the person you fall in love with, that you can fall in love and just go out with anybody you pleases. So far, the person is a believer. They use several scriptural references to back their points up. But this evening, I would like to inform you that God is still in the business. He's still very much interested in telling you or in guiding you who to get married to, in guiding you and in telling you his mind. If we say that God is no more interested, is no longer interested in telling you, is no longer interested in giving you a life partner, does that mean God is no longer interested in your life? Does that mean that when God is guiding you and it gets to a particular stage of your life, God back out? Does that mean God no longer speaks to people? If God is still leading people career-wise, if God is still telling people go into this, go into the ministry, do this and do that, why won't He tell you whom to get married to? And also, we all know that whoever you are getting married to has a very important and a vital role to play in your life, because that determines what happens for the rest of your life. Now, if the person you are bringing in is that much important in your life, how will God turn his back to you? God still gives people partner, he still chooses, he still lead people. The only thing is that he won't force his choice on you. If you are not interested, good for you. If you are interested, he will direct you, guide you, and give you his mind. And also, he will not lead a stranger. If you do not know God, if God cannot recognize you as his own, he won't talk to you, he won't show you where to go. And if your life is profiting God, there is no way at that junction, at that particular point in your life, God will neglect you and leave you to yourself. He knows what you need. You can only identify what you want, but but he knows what you need for the rest of your life. God still chooses for people. If your life is profiting God, is interested in your life, is ready to guide and ready to direct you. And the next thing I would like to talk on before I leave this episode is convictions. Confusion on convictions. People come to me asking, and in fact, most questions that I have to answer, that I have to provide answers to recently, is the fact that they don't get to see vision, they don't get to see God coming down to speak to them, they don't see any vision. Probably people have been telling them, while I was praying to God, I saw this, I saw that. When it comes to receiving God's mind, when it comes to receiving whom to get married to, don't look for vision, don't run after vision or whatsoever. The exact way that God has been using to communicate with you before now is the same way God will use. That is why you should get used to God. That is why you should know God. He should be your friend. The same way, if your own has been from the word of God, you might not have seen vision before. Probably God has been speaking to you through his word, through several other means. Those are what you should look out for. Those are channels that you should look out for. Not in seeing vision and all. If you are the type that see vision before, yes, God will still show you vision. If you are the type that God speak to through his word, you should sit down with that. Not that you are looking for, you are running after seeing vision and all that. And before I end this, if you are the type that says God is leading me, what is your conviction? I have peace of mind. You should be very, very careful, so that your peace of mind will not be as a result of your emotions that is getting satisfied, or the love you are having for the person. Just feel like, okay, I have the peace of God. Let that peace of God be backed up with his word. Let the peace of God be backed up with the word of God, and every other convictions as well must be subjected to the word of God. Come to think of it, if you run from God's will, or let me say, if you are afraid God will say no, you are not approaching God, you are not requesting for his mind, for his will, because you think he will say no to you. And if indeed God is going to say no concerning that person, do you think the place will be safe to be?